We actually have a special video presentation from a very special guest that was brought to us through the likes of Mike Balise, because he's the man, Mike Balise, right there. There's our guy. And we'd like to show you our very special video guest tonight.
Congratulations on your 20th anniversary. Mike Balise says you guys are pretty funny. Somehow I doubt that.
Bill Belichick, everybody. Our next guest, I got the chance to spend some really great quality time with him. He took us to Aruba. He showed us a great time, and we got to know the real Mike Balise, not just the guy from the commercials. Please give a big round of applause for Mike Balise.
Hello, everybody. I was told I had 2 minutes to talk by station management and keep it clean. So I'm thinking there, what the hell am I going to say in 2 minutes? What am I going to say in 2 minutes? Then I realized I knew what I was going to say. Hey, Gary, f you. I'm taking as much time as I need. All right, so listen. And when I say I need the time, I really need the time as a conscientious member of this community, because three very screwed up individuals around here, and I need to let you know that you don't want to be spending any time with them or have them move into your neighborhood. Protect your kids. It's a target-rich environment for me, but let's leave the two superstars behind for a second and turn to one weird dude and just look at him, Steve Nagel. Yeah. Steve, I'm glad you think we had some quality time together. That makes one of us. So we land in Aruba. We're trying to figure out where we're going to go for dinner that night. We've shown a beautiful sushi restaurant. I go, Steve, how about we go grab sushi tonight? He goes, I love sushi, but only supermarket sushi. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, that way you know it's fresh. I'm like, so you've ruled out vending machine sushi, ballpark sushi, all that's by the waystage. You're sticking with your Huntington sushi. He's like, yep, that's what I want. Weird dude. The next morning, my wife and I are at breakfast. It's like 9 in the morning. It's 85. The sun is on our back, and you guys are enduring the terrible winter, and we were really feeling badly for you. And we're looking at these lizards that are on this lizard display, when all of a sudden I'm enveloped in this amorphous blob of shade. It looks like Grimace from McDonald's is sneaking up from behind. I turn around and I see Steve like he's just left the perp walk. He's got his New York Yankees cap down. He's got his sunglasses on. He looks like shit. He's got a t-shirt that nobody could figure out this side of an Amherst bookstore. And I'm like, yeah, how you doing, Steve? He's like, I got food poisoning. Okay, really? He goes, yeah, it's a goddamn good thing I made it this morning. It was a photo finish. He goes, I couldn't find about 6:30 in the morning, my stomach starts gurgling, I'm freaking out. I'm trying to turn on the lights. A good thing I sleep in the buff. I barely make it into the bathroom. I look at my poor wife. She's having a Spanish omelet with refried beans. She's starting to dry heave. Steve's talking. I can't hear him. I look at Steve's gorgeous wife, Jen, who we call Lily. She's down at the end behind a ficus tree. She's trying to be the ficus tree so no one sees her. A few minutes later, I'm like, Steve, do you think maybe it wasn't food poisoning? It was the fact that you drank half of the rum in Aruba last night? No, can't be that. So he goes for a walk. Lo and behold, we see him about 2 hours later. He's at the beach bar, drinking up a storm. He's got a Mai Tai the size of a fishbowl. I'm like, how you feeling? He's like, pretty good. I think rum trumps food poisoning. Like, well, you are one smart guy. And it doesn't end there. So we're taking off, and we're at a little airport. Picture your garage, a two-car garage. The garage is up. There's like a counter on one side where people pretend to look at your passport and your baggage. And then there's another lady on the other side. She's selling beer, enchiladas, mostly Spanish cuisine. And I'm just watching Steve, and he's rooting around like a starving dog in a a junkyard. I'm like, what the hell is he up to? Finally comes up this little refrigerator. It's like a dorm room refrigerator. I'm figuring it has bait, right? Or something like that. And he starts going through it, and he comes up with his softball size piece of cheese. Like, Steve needs some more cheese. He is so proud of the cheese. I know everybody heard about the cheese, right? So he comes over, shows me the cheese, and I'm like, geez, it's fantastic, you got that cheese. I'm sure this dry, arid desert island is known for their cheese, and this garage in particular, that half refrigerator, I'm sure is the best cheese. 10 minutes later, he's back in there. I just see his ass. Right, he's raw, shit's coming out of there. The people are looking at him. He pulls out a wheel of cheese the size of a big wheel's front tire. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So he goes and pays for it, comes over, brags. He goes, so where are we gonna put this thing on the flight home? I'm like, well, we do have an extra seat. We could just strap it in like a passenger. He's like, no, this baby's gotta be iced down for the road. So we got a cooler, we iced down the cheese, and the entire flight home, every half hour, he's making people move so he can take the cooler out, look at the cheese, like it's a liver he's bringing back for one of his children to have a transplant done on it. Like, you are one strange motherfucker. So, great to have a great time with you, Steve. We'll be doing that again a couple of decades from now. All right, and listen, you know, growing up, and I am a fan of the show, but it does piss me off once in a while. You know, pretty obvious that Mike is the smartest of the trio. So, you know, he goes to Marquette, right? He's a doting father. He's the voice of reason. He's the laziest son of a bitch. If you really listen to what he says on that radio show, it's the same stuff at the same time, prompting this, prompting that, prompting this, prompting that. Ends up his Bax view on the couch with the same, anyway, I don't know, blah, 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 might happen for what, 15 years now? Can you do a little work and come up with something else for us? But the thing that really pissed me off with both these guys, they brought back the classic rock lyric quiz. Why the hell they were allowed to bring this back? We shouldn't be here tonight just because of that, by the way. You know, and every time it starts the same. Starts with Mike, classic rock lyric quiz, brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware Store. Go up and see Zach in, you know, Sutherland. He's got the stuff that's gonna make your grass grow and all this kind of stuff. Then they go into one of those prizes, right? And the winner of the classic rock lyric quiz gets to go to Cummington and judge the pumpkin carving festival next August, and you'll have a great time doing that. Great prize. Then you gotta listen, it's like John wants you to believe, like he's really thinking, do I let the master thespian in? Meanwhile, they are so out to lunch, it's crazy. Oh, let him in! I figure like a guy like half Henry VIII, half Gimli from Lord of the Rings opens the door, starts trudging down the hall, finally gets like a throne where these two guys are gonna listen to him cry and moan about the lyrics to the most obvious song. And then you gotta listen to John go through his ABBA week? Is it, you know, there's got to be a song with a number in it week. Little River Band week was one of the worst weeks of my life, right? And then it's, right, what could be more mailed in, right? Total bull. It goes on forever. And then Mike goes all Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood on us, right? It's crazy because all of a sudden we're back in the land of make-believe and he has become Henrietta the Pussycat. Meow, 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 this sucks. Meow, meow, boring. Meow, 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 I can mail this day long. Come on, Mike. Can you come up with something a little bit more creative? And lastly, my man John. My man John. It should be recognized that John is the weakest of the three, and you know, really, for what he's been given, he's accomplished more than he really should have. The fact that he lives independently, holds down a job, I give him a lot of credit. And seriously, this guy deserves all of it. It's a struggle for him every day. You know, as everybody here is a fan of the show, so we know that he loves Seinfeld. And as Elaine's would-be employer reminds us, you either have grace or you do not have grace. You can't have a little grace. And rest assured, everybody, there is not the smallest vestige of grace in this human being whatsoever. And I'll just give you a little anecdotal evidence. So we're good enough to have Mark Dupuy ask us out in his 40-foot catamaran that he rents, and he's got a lovely family. One problem with them for John, they all got along marvelously, and there's about 10 of them that are less than 30. They're females, they're very attractive, so I knew things we're gonna be in a lot of trouble. We get on the catamaran, we go sailing, and on the way back, I've been scuba diving all day, or rather snorkeling all day. John is a great guy to bring to Aruba because he likes water about as much as the Wicked Witch of the East, and sun about as much as a vampire. So he's, below decks drinking these things called green iguanas, turning green in the gills, and we start to head home, and all of a sudden, his hat flies off, which is a big deal, okay? Believe me, I was with him in New Orleans trying to find a hat. Oh my God, do you think he's pissy? On a regular basis, when the sun is hitting his head unmitigatedly, it drives him nuts. By the way, do you know they did find that hat? It washed up on Key West with 13 Cubans inside of it. In fact, they dragged it back on shore, they flipped it over, they're living in it like it's an igloo. There's plenty of room, they put partitions in it, plenty of room for guests, they're never leaving. I want to say thank you, and Olaf the tent maker is making a new hat right now. So at any rate, the catamaran gets back to the mooring line, the tender starts coming out to bring people back to the mainland, and all of a sudden Crystal Childs, our media director, grabs me and says, "John has got to be the last one off the boat." I'm like, "Why?" "We have to give the other people a chance to escape." I'm like, "What?" He is totally I'm like, "Geez, really?" I can't really tell the difference, but we'll figure out what happens later. So everybody's off the boat. Finally, the tender comes back for John and Steve and Frank and a couple of our wonderful guests who are awesome. And everything's going great. We're in this little 13-footer. We go back. It's the middle of the world, so there is no tide. There is no waves. It's smooth as hell. John's in about 8 inches of water, and somehow he finds a hole that's 15,000 feet deep. He's lying in 8 inches of water, flailing like he's being attacked by piranha and electric eels. We're all looking at him going, "Is this a joke?" The blowhole is sometimes on top of the water, the blowhole's beneath the water. Finally, Frank Bill reaches, grabs John by the shoulders, pulls him up. I see John's glasses fall into the water. I'm like, "John, your glasses." So he reaches down, he finds his glasses. Nagel is so concerned, he's fidgeting with his GoPro, going, "Don't rescue him yet, don't rescue him yet." Okay, so he puts his glasses back on his head. Everything seems fine, and he goes to stand up, and all of a sudden the piranha come back, and the electric eels come back, and he's roiling in the 8 inches of water. We're all like, "What the hell is this guy's problem?" So again, Frank reaches down, pulls him up. This time the glasses fall off again. I go, "John, you lost your glasses again." He goes looking for him. One of the lenses is gone. So now we got Colonel Klink, who's 3 sheets to the wind. Okay? So I'm watching, and it's a good thing that Frank Bill's a fairly sizable guy. He pulls up John, and I realize that not only is he shit-faced and he can't see to begin with, but he's got one glass now, but his head is absorbing water. It has the porosity of a sponge. It's like 3 times the size it was before it hit the ground. So I start to walk back. He's in like some okay hands. I've had enough. I want to get ready for dinner. We're going to have a great dinner that night. And I go into my room with my wife, and we start getting changed. About 15 minutes later, I start hearing a noise out in the hallway. I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And then I'm thinking, sounds like Frankenstein, must be John. So I stay in my room. My wife is like, "You sure you shouldn't go help him?" I'm like, "Just leave him alone. He's got to wear himself out." So, it starts getting noisier and noisier out in the hallway. I'm like, "What the hell?" So I go and I open the door. I'm half expecting like angry villagers with pitchforks and torches there, right? Instead, I just see him. His head is jammed into the door frame, and because of its sponginess, I guess, it really adapted right to the corner and held him in there quite securely. He's got his pass key that he's jamming about 5 feet above the door lock, all over the place, right? He looks like he's looking for a light switch in the dark. I'm like, "John, let me help you out with that." So I grab the card, I put it into the slot, comes out red. Lucky for me, Crystal Childs comes right out. She goes, "You remember, Mike, we had to extend the vacation a day, so they probably canceled his card, so he needs to go down and get another one." Well, then Prince Charming over here goes, "Forget about it. I'm sleeping here." I'm like, "That's going to work out fabulously well. That's going to work out well." So I go, "Crystal, would you mind doing me a favor and just go get him a new card?" She's like, "No problem." So beautiful Crystal disappears down the hall. I prop the door open just in case he starts vomiting on himself. I go in and getting ready to finalizing getting ready, and I hear, "Wait a second." I come out in the hall, I look, and Crystal's way down the hall before the elevator bank. She looks, "Hurry up!" What a charmer this guy is. No grace whatsoever. But sincerely, congratulations to you guys. It's been 20 unbelievable years. Great to know you. And really, for all the people who wish me well in this room, I just want to say thank you very much. And because of my wonderful brother, who's my boss and mentor, and he is the Balise and Balise, I've lived a life of Riley. I tell him every day, if I go into full remission, I won't know what to do with myself. I'm having too much fun. So that's it, guys. Take care.
For the record, you're not getting any of my $65 airport cheese, you asshole. It's all mine.